Hello, everyone, and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Wednesday, June 21st, 2017. I am Michael Schwahn.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
Please remember, everybody, we go live Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. Alaska time. That is 7 p.m. if you're on the West Coast and 10 p.m. if you're on the East Coast. And, of course, if you would like to help support this podcast, please go to patreon.com/dailyinternet if you can spare $1 to $5, or possibly more if you're that generous, a month. Not a week, not an episode. Once every 30 or 31 days, 28 in February. If you can spare that for us, patreon.com/dailyinternet.
Who is our most recent donators? Should give another shout out to them.
I can just bring up the full list if you want while you tell me how you are today.
Dude, my day's been all right. It's been pretty relaxed.
Yeah? Been not too shabby?
And not too shabby, especially since I again fuck up my days and completely thought that today was Tuesday.
Oh.
Yeah, so I thought it was Tuesday up until, like, I don't know, was it 6? Like an hour and a half ago?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd say it's pretty good.
View all current patrons. Oh, nice. They just added an easy button for it. All right. So, first two big thank yous to our $25 podcast managers, the other white Mike and Kelly. Big thank you to our $5 supporters with Risa Alexander, Breonna Strange, and Brittany Martin. And thank you to...
I thought it was Risa Alexandra.
Thank you. I always fuck that up. And then a $1 founding fan, which is Christopher Eiffel, however you pronounce your name. Thank you, sir.
Eiffel 65.
Sure. Where did the 65 come from?
Because he's blue. WDW.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, it hurts. But yeah.
Are you feeling blue now, Michael?
Yeah. Well, my shirt's blue, so I mean.
Do you have a blue Corvette?
Although, whoa, is the stream really fucked for you?
No.
Let me see if it'll stay this way long enough for me to grab it.
And everything is blue for him.
I'm gonna grab this to put on the screen to show you what my stream looks like right now.
God,
It'll pop up in a minute, but holy crap, it is really messed up.
Shit, now that song's really stuck in my head.
Good.
Oh, holy shit, now your computer, I can see it. Why?
I don't know. I'm gonna reload it and hope that, okay, it's fixed now. That was great, because that was terrible.
Yeah, oh my god. Anyways, now that song's really stuck in my head.
I'm not sorry.
I brought it upon myself.
Yeah, exactly. It's why I'm not sorry.
It's all right.
Because you deserve it, young
Just give me a second. I'll get another song stuck in my head.
Please don't.
Oh, it's there.
What song do you got in there now?
It's Roundabout.
Mambo number 5?
Wait, now it's YYZ.
Well, on that... Wait, YYZ doesn't have lyrics.
I know, you can hear it in your head.
Okay. Sure.
So technical.
ESA approves gravity... you got the clicker?
Hold on. I do.
That's great, because right out of the gate, I need a new take.
All right. This is number 10. Take 2. Action.
ESA approves gravitational wave hunting spacecraft for 2034.
This was submitted by Mavia to our space.
So the ESA, or the European Space Agency, I believe is what the A stands for. They always grab different names on there. Could be like, association, yeah, it's agency. They've given Laser Inframeter Space Antenna Mission, or LISA, that is designed to be launched in 2034. And what this is, it's not one satellite, it is 3 that are going to triangulate themselves around the sun and then shoot laser beams at one another consistently to try to pick up small gravitational changes in our solar system. And when I mean small, I mean so small that it is micrometers, or what the smallest little deviation that is created by black holes that are millions of miles away.
Fuck, that's amazing.
Yep.
Damn, Lisa.
Damn, Lisa.
I'm sorry, though. My first thought when you said Lisa was, I can't wait for 2035.
Why?
Because then it'd be her birthday, and you can play the Lisa, It's Your Birthday song from The Simpsons.
Sure, okay. Because they do that shit, like crap, what's the name of the rover that's on Mars? I can't think of its name all of a sudden.
Red Rover?
Mars rover. What's its name? The Curiosity, that's its name.
Damn.
The Mars rover Curiosity, it sings itself happy birthday each year.
Oh, that's so fucking cute. Oh my god.
So,
But it's a robot. Ugh, I can't bring myself to like
but
robots.
the fact that they did that, it makes me believe that they might actually upload Lisa's birthday song to Lisa before they launch her off, and every
I
year those
hope so. Then they can play it. Oh my god, can we get a petition for this?
no, and then aliens find it, steal one of them, and then the only message on it is fucking the Lisa's birthday song from The Simpsons.
Damn, you know what? I'm very okay with this.
Are you?
Yeah,
Why?
because that's a decent song to start with for civilization on Earth.
Introduction to humanity, The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't feel like that's a good representation of. Hi, okay, yeah, it probably is.
It is. They've had an episode for literally everything.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
That is a great introduction to humanity.
Or a terrible one. Scientists just took a major step towards achieving nuclear fusion.
Submitted by Mavia to our futurology.
Nuclear fusion is the process that happens when you take two hydrogen atoms and smush them together to make a helium atom. And when that happens, they let off an extreme amount of energy, which, if you are able to capture, has zero radioactive byproducts whatsoever.
Oh, so you're saying that it's a nuclear fusion technique?
Yes.
A nuclear fusion technique. Bleh.
Yes.
Oh man, that hurt my mouth.
Yeah, I bet. It hurt my soul.
Good.
This is what fuels the sun, I should point out. That is how the sun exists, is it continuously smushes hydrogen atoms to form helium atoms, which are then burnt off. Now, we already know how to do it. You have to get stuff up to about 150 million degrees, put them under a lot of pressure, and then boom, ta-da, you have nuclear
You
fusion.
put them under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Go learn all these lines in a day. Send them away with a note.
Not that kind of pressure.
With like a script.
No. So we already know how to do it. The problem is, one, doing it safely, and two, being able to effectively harvest the energy. Because if you can do it, then it'll produce enough energy to continue fueling itself.
But if it's too laid back, it just won't do it, man.
Exactly. And the resource that you use for this is salt water, which is cool.
Damn, that water is pretty fucking salty.
And we got a lot of it. God, really, Nathan? Jesus Christ. But one of the problems.
I mean, it's got to be salty if it's under pressure.
One of the issues with it is when you smush the two atoms together, a large number of electrons go flying off. And when I mean flying off, I don't mean like, I mean like they shoot off with enough force to blow through the nuclear reactor's walls, which would cause it to fail, which would mean that it would collapse, and that's bad for everybody.
That's not a very good nuclear reactor now, is it?
No. And so that's one of the big obstacles, is not only attaining the temperature needed to do nuclear fusion, but also containing the energy that is put off by those electrons. They think they have found a way to deaccelerate those electrons, which is by filling basically like a little cushion wall full of a denser material like argon, and having that literally just catch the electrons like it's a big giant pillow.
That's interesting.
That's science.
Oh man, it's dispersion of force and everything. That's cool.
I guess. But my question is, like, then what? What do you do after that?
You harvest that energy?
Have we figured out a better way to harvest energy yet besides using the energy to, like, heat water to turn a turbine?
I mean, steam is one of the best ways to do anything, really.
I guess. It seems to be. I mean,
realistically, people who worshipped water deities were the smartest, because water is literally, like, the best thing on this planet. We're really lucky that it's abundant.
Water and potatoes.
And it's milk and potatoes, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, potatoes.
I mean, you can find another thing to substitute milk.
Hey, did you know that everything in the universe either is a potato or isn't?
Holy shitty facts. Yes, I did.
Except for those strange things that are both, because I imagine somewhere in the universe exists like a plasma potato that is both is a potato and isn't.
Like a Schrodinger's potato?
Yeah.
Damn.
George Clooney.
It's not the tuba.
George Clooney just sold his tequila business for up to $1 billion.
Oh my God, this was submitted by P Zinger 6 to our news. Is this because he just had twins?
No, no, it's just because he just wants to sell it because he can. So, incidentally, I cannot imagine being in a position like George Clooney because himself, Rand Gerber of Midnight Oil and the Gerber Group, like, baby food, as well as Michael Meldman, which is a real estate tycoon, they created the Casamigos, which is the name of the tequila company. They created it back in 2011, I think. Yeah,
Mhm.
2011, purely for the purpose of making tequila just for them. It wasn't for sale. It wasn't to be put on store shelves. It was just for them and their family. Can you imagine creating an entire and funding an entire, being so rich that you can fund an entire tequila production facility purely to make your own tequila?
I dream of that day. However, I would replace it. I would replace tequila. I wouldn't. I wouldn't drink tequila.
Sure, but
A gin factory? Hell yes.
what is gin made out of?
Quinine.
Oh, wait a minute. So a gin and tonic is just like alcoholic quinine and non-alcoholic quinine put into a glass?
Yeah.
Okay. What is quinine made out of?
Stuff. All right. Shut the fuck up.
Okay. Either way, back in 2013, they had to bring the label public because they couldn't get licensing to continue making the tequila without it. And now, 4 years later, they're going to sell it to Diageo. I'm guessing that is how this is pronounced. Diageo. Diageo sounds better.
I will investigate.
Diageo? I don't know.
Well,
Diageo. Not sure.
Diageo.
Diageo? Maybe. Either way, they're going to initially pay $700 million with the potential for another $300 million being paid out based on the tequila's performance over the next 10 years, and that deal is expected to close at the end of 2017.
Damn, that's really fucking cool.
Yep. I spent a few $1 million to build a tequila brand to make tequila just for me, and then I'm gonna sell it for $700 million because my name's George Clooney, and who needs to rob casinos when I can just make money the real way?
Dude, can you imagine how popular that brand of tequila is now going to be because they're like, holy shit, George Clooney made that tequila?
Well, that's probably why it started doing well in the first place.
Oh, it's fucking George Clooney. Hell yeah.
So,
If George Clooney made a goddamn blow up doll, I'd fucking buy it.
damn it, my computer needs an update, and
Wait, that was the Antonio Banderas blow up doll in South Park. Fuck.
I really hate updates.
There's an episode for everything.
Computer update at 1 a.m. tomorrow morning. There you go.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Still on.
I'm sorry?
Still on at 1 a.m. You're just sitting there. Oh, no.
No! I better be asleep. I have work
Oh,
tomorrow.
sick. All right, so Andrew goes, fun fact, gin and tonics were invented to fight malaria when the Brits were in Africa. And you want to know why it was invented to fight malaria?
I'm listening.
Because quinine.
Does that fight malaria?
Yeah, it does. You want to know how I learned that?
Because you really like gin?
No. I learned that from a World War II movie.
Congrats. What movie?
I think it was called The Great Raid. It had Lou Diamond Phillips in it.
Okay.
And it was about
Oh, sorry. I thought you were
they were taking an island from the Japanese off in the Pacific.
All right. That's not Africa, though.
No, I know, but they had malaria over there, and they were smuggling quinine in through peanuts.
Oh, very well then. Student accused of making up rape allegations faces 2 years.
Damn, this is submitted by It's a Long Way Down to Our Justice Served.
So this happened in Bridgeport, Connecticut. This 19-year-old student that attended the Sacred Heart University accused 2 of the football players of sexually assaulting her. During the investigation into that, though, they said it was consensual, and then she further admitted that it was consensual, but she laid forth the rape accusations because she didn't want to lose another male student as a friend and potential boyfriend. Even though she willingly went into the bathroom and had sex with both these dudes at the same time. But that's beside the point. She accused these 2 gentlemen of rape, which then, by their legal counsel, had them withdraw from the university, cutting out their scholarships, which put them at a very disadvantaged position in life from the direction that they were going. And currently, she is looking at 2 years in prison and 3 years on probation. That is if she pleads guilty and accepts the plea deal. If she chooses not to do that, then we don't know, but that will be decided on June 26th.
Hmm. That's interesting. I wonder how this is going to play out.
Well, I mean, if she accepts the plea deal and if she accepts the plea deal, she'll be 2 years in prison, 3 years on probation. She can probably get out of prison earlier than that, with then just extending her probation for an extended amount of time to only serving 1 year and be on probation for 4. But it'll just depend on if she actually accepts the deal or not.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to point out
Super.
that you are the problem why people don't believe rape victims.
Me?
Not you, her.
Oh, the girl in the thing.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because too often people don't believe rape victims, and then there are people that are like, we should always believe them, and then there's proof of why sometimes they really are just throwing out accusations,
And
and that
people
sucks.
cling to the negatives so fucking hard.
Well, and also, I mean, unfortunately, with rape, it's such a difficult subject because they have to prove it, but at the same time, it's a difficult thing to prove, but it's a very serious thing. And things like this just make it more difficult to actually have any validation when people do put forward rape accusations.
Hmm.
Because so often it's easy to point the finger and go, well, look at all these other cases where they weren't actually telling the truth and just wanted to get someone in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
So, who knows?
And then no, Kendall has this point too because she's like, I worry about this court finding because if someone was truly raped and they went to courts and there wasn't enough proof, do they then face possible imprisonment?
Well, I think in that case, no, because in this specific case, she admitted that she made up the accusation. So she's being charged with it's like second degree false something or other.
It's like,
I'll find it either way. So in this case, she admitted to it, right?
mm-hmm.
And that really changes the pretense at least of what's happening in this specific case, because it does make the difference that she said it. Now, if someone makes a rape accusation and there isn't enough evidence, I'm pretty sure it just falls flat. I don't think you then go into, well, you were lying. I think it's just there's not enough evidence to support it. She's being charged with second degree falsely reporting an incident and tampering with or fabricating physical evidence.
Okay. So yeah, that would be because she admitted.
Yeah.
Not doing it. Gotcha.
So, meh. I don't know. All right.
Yeah, I don't know how to continue on this one.
Well, that's why I'm moving on. Gun owners are outraged by the Philando Castile case, and the NRA is silent.
This was submitted by Oak Teach to Our Politics.
So, if you haven't heard, the Philando Castile case is a case that happened in which a African American gentleman was driving a vehicle. He had his wife and his daughter in the car. His daughter was I believe she was an infant or a toddler. She was very young. They got pulled over for a speeding violation. The cop came up to the car, and then due to some circumstances, the driver ended up being shot 7 times and killed by this police officer.
Mm-hmm.
After this case has been concluded, we did get the full video of what happened. The officer walked up. The gentleman handed him his insurance. The policeman said, "I also need to see your ID." The gentleman in the car said, "I need to tell you, I have a firearm," and which is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to tell a cop that I have a firearm. Because then that makes the cops aware of things. The cop said, "Okay, well, just don't grab for it." And he goes, "But I do need to see your ID." So the gentleman went to go get his wallet out of his pocket to get his ID. The officer panicked and shot the guy 7 times. The reason that everyone is in an uproar, this happened last year in July, the reason that everyone is in an uproar is because the officer has been acquitted, which means that all charges are being dropped and that nothing is actually being put onto him. He has been relieved of his duty on the police force, but he's not being charged for the murder of this gentleman. And on top of that, no one is speaking about this situation. The gentleman, while African American, shouldn't be the problem here, but it seems to be the underlying cause. He was a registered gun owner. The weapon was registered. He was legal to have that weapon, and it led to him being murdered by this police officer.
Now, is it because the police officer harbored ill will against him after he admitted to having a gun? Or is it because there was just this small failure of communication on the part of the police officer when he said, go and grab your wallet, and didn't realize that that is also the area where you're grabbing your gun?
It's not
In which
just,
case, he should still be at fault for that.
well, it's not just that. The other reason that people are upset is because the people that represent gun owners, the largest of which is the National Rifle Association, the NRA, has stayed completely silent on this matter. Where in several other occasions that involved a white gun owner, they were very vocal, including fundraising for the family and things along those lines, where they have not made any statement whatsoever regarding this case.
Oh, I see.
And so people are accusing the NRA of silent racism, of you're not speaking out against someone, but by doing nothing, you are executing racism of a fashion.
Right. Damn. I mean, I can completely understand their stance on that.
So the other thing is that, I mean, the
National Rifle Association, more like Nationalist Rifle Association.
wow, that was really bad. That was
Wow.
really bad. Several members of the NRA have called the NRA out, saying you need to speak about this. This gentleman was a legal license carrying gun owner and was shot because of it. Now, yeah, there. I don't know. I got nothing past that. That's just what. It sucks. It sucks a lot. One of the bigger reasons that this case blew up so much, as soon as Mr. Castile was shot, his wife in the car went live on Facebook to have documentation of what was happening at that exact moment, which of course went viral very quickly because real dire dramatic situations like that go viral very quickly because people
Everyone fucking shares them.
yeah, because people are like, oh my god, look at this crazy stuff that happened. And that brought a lot of attention to the case, and the fact now that the officer is being acquitted and no one in an official capacity is wanting to speak about it, it sends a lot of very bad messages.
Andrew said the cop was screaming, "Don't reach for it," over and over, and the guy thought he meant the gun and continued to try to get his wallet out.
Yep.
But he was also told to get his wallet out.
He was.
So
And
there's this
here's the
big
other part on
failure
top
right
of
there.
that, though, is one of the other issues that we, as a whole, have with the police in general is that they too often reach for their gun. They have several other options available to them that they can execute, but too often they go straight for their firearm.
Yeah, they have the stun gun. They even have a police baton.
So
Just pull that out. Whoosh.
unfortunately, it did lead, and thankfully, neither the wife nor the child was injured in this incident, but it still led to the death of this man who did not deserve to die. He was an innocent man that was just trying to do what the officer instructed him to do. But now the issue is past that, is that no one is speaking about this in general, in an official capacity at least. The people who are normally like the flags of responsibility in terms of what should have been done or what we need to do in the sake of these situations or for our legal firearm carriers in America, they're completely silent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I really am expecting a statement, at least from the NRA, about this.
They offered a statement when it very first happened back in July, saying that they would speak more about it later once more information had been revealed, but they never have. And now that we have a result from it of what's happening in terms of the case as a whole, officers being acquitted and all of those things, and no words have been shared.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping, right? I'm just hoping that eventually they will.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So anyway, moving along.
Mm-hmm.
Gunman kidnaps family and forces them to shop at Target.
Oh no! This is submitted by Wake Up DP to R. The Onion.
Yep, so in North Carolina, man has been arrested. He went up to these people's house and asked them for money. This what he didn't have a gun at the time. He's just like, hey, blah blah blah, hard times. May I have some money? They did give him money, but then he grabbed his gun and forced the residents, a man, a woman, and their 2 children, out of the house and into their vehicle, drove him to the local Target where he was going to force them to buy him a pile of clothing and gift cards. One of the family members was able to ask for help from one of the Target employees who called 911, and the man was arrested quite promptly as there were police in the parking lot.
Oh my God.
Yep.
You kidnap. This needs to be made into a movie. I would pay $9 to see this in 3D.
They're going to take you, and they're going to force you to shop at Target. Just stay quiet.
Dude, dude. He's just missed the target with this one.
Taken for. Ah, shit, dude. I hate you sometimes.
It's writing itself.
It's just another Taken movie, man.
It could be even better than that.
It's just
we can get a better pun.
No, it's a parodied. You got to think
Tar-
about your
instead of
target
Taken,
audience,
it's just
Nathan.
Target.
No, you got to think about your target audience, Nathan.
I am. That's why I was trying to make it better than that shitty pun you fucking put forth.
Yeah, but I could see like an epic movie version of Taken that features this happening.
They take him to Target.
Damn it. Ugh, so bad.
It's so good, though. Oh, man.
Man, I hope I'm never desperate to the point where I need to kidnap someone so they can buy me shit from Target.
I don't even think let's be real. He probably wasn't that desperate.
He was probably just crazy.
I mean, he had a gun.
Yeah. Carnage to be the villain in the new Venom movie.
It was submitted by DogFan2434 8 to our movies.
So, if you are interested in the superhero universe, Venom is getting his own movie, and the main villain is going to be Carnage.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Do we have a date for the Venom movie?
Yeah, I mean, I figure you and me will probably see it, so that's probably a date there.
That's not what I meant, but sure. Right now it just says October 5th, 2018.
Hey, that's a whole year away. But you know what? I'm really excited. I can't. I hope it's Butch Cassidy.
And Tom Hardy is. I believe Tom Hardy is going to be Venom, right?
I don't know.
Yes, Tom Hardy is going to be playing as Eddie Brock or Venom.
Yep. Tom Hardy is starring Venom. Yep.
Yep, that's pretty sick. I like Tom Hardy a lot.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm ready for that. I'm ready for more Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's great. Get hyped.
Do we know who Tom Hardy is playing? Oh, Eddie Brock, gotcha.
Yeah, he's playing Venom.
Yeah. Well, no. There's several Venoms.
Well, he's playing Eddie Brock.
Yeah, he's playing Eddie Brock. That's what
Who's normally Venom.
Well, I mean, there's a couple. There's Flash Thompson. He was Venom.
I suppose. Well, there's also been a lot of people that have been Spider-Man, but they keep on rolling Peter Parker, so...
Actually, there's only been, like, one other person that's been Spider-Man that hasn't been in... Because, I mean, they've had other Spider-Man, but those were all spin-offs, and then they had that giant Spider-Verse where all of them died. Well, not died. Like, half of them died because they got eaten by vampires that targeted Spider-Man throughout the dimensions.
Well, we've also had a lot of people be Captain America, too, so...
I mean, there was Spider Island where everyone turned into a Spider-Man.
So, anywho. Pennsylvania Supreme Court rules police dash cam videos are public.
Hey! This was submitted by Free the Llamas to our news.
Free the llamas, huh? Well, I can tell that you're a very hardy activist, aren't you?
Hey,
So,
my grandparents had llamas.
there was a dude who lived, like, a couple blocks away from me in Oklahoma that raised llamas. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, well, did those people have 2 gay llamas?
Yes, actually, they did.
Oh, okay, because my grandparents owned 2 gay llamas.
And apparently that's a lot more common of thing than we realize.
Right? Yeah, so one was Madonna and the other was Boy George.
Okay, then. So, currently, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court has ruled that state police dashboard camera footage should be released under the state's right to know law, which means that the public has the right to know what was recorded.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, in those instances. Now, the quick thing on this is that It might be a very short-lived thing. Currently, Senate Bill 560 creates a new procedure for public access to police recordings, in which it would significantly limit the amount of public access by turning them into essentially a different classification of documentation. Because right now they are considered to be part of the public record because of what they are classified as. But Senate Bill 560 would change their classification, which means that they can be kept confidential for a lot longer, especially if they're included as part of an investigation.
Damn, that's crazy.
Well, and
So,
we were talking the other day about body cam footage, and
right.
it should be openly available. And I mean, I can see why it should be. And just to repeat what we talked about, we kind of discussed about how it should be publicly available, but then you also run the risk of members of the public running witch hunts on what they think they see in terms of a lot of public footage, whether from dash cams or body cams.
Right. And there's always going to be some form of human errors in some things.
Sure.
Like maybe someone fucked up and ticketed a guy for way too much when he shouldn't have. Like that shit happens.
Well, and also we were talking about, people's privacy, about how you'd probably need to censor a lot of people's faces and things like that, which, I mean, would create new jobs if you're having people go through and redact a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm. But I can also understand because they're in a position of power, of great power, and we really don't want them fucking abusing that shit.
Right. That we don't. And they need to be held accountable for a lot of the shit that happens. I mean, I still can't believe that that dude that shot friggin' Castile got acquitted because, oh my god.
Fucking right.
But
how do you get acquitted of that shit?
Because the jury acquitted him.
Fucking, oh my god.
Yeah, that's how. But either way, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's a step forward at all. I mean, if it does result in that the dashcam footage is held public moving forward, or if 560 goes through and then it is made into a different classification where it is held confidential for longer periods of time, moving forward with these decisions and having these conversations is still beneficial.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
So.
Yeah. No, it's always trying to move forward, you know?
Supreme Court says you can't ban people from the internet, no matter what they've done.
This was submitted by Maxwell Hill to Our Technology.
So
hey, it's a human right.
Yep, it actually is, according to the Supreme Court. So, way back in 2002, the courts were struggling on whether it was okay to ban people from using the internet or not. This happened because of a dude named Lester Packingham. He is a convicted sex offender, and in 2010 he went on Facebook to brag about getting a traffic ticket dismissed. He used his middle name instead of his last name, but a police officer saw the post and connected the dots back to him, and he was arrested because using social media as a sex offender was not something that he was supposed to be allowed to do. Now, he fought this and went up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court deemed that the internet is something that is so integral to Americans' lives that it is not something that you can take away from a person, no matter what they've done, including sexual offenses.
Nice. Okay. Well, kind of nice. I can understand people not wanting certain people who've been convicted of things on things like social media. I can completely understand that.
Right. But they also made an indication that 7 out of 10 Americans use Facebook. And they reference Facebook a lot. Facebook has 1.78 billion users, which is what, like 6 times the entire number of people in America.
If it weren't for the fact that I wanted to be famous, I wouldn't have this piece of shit.
What piece of shit?
Facebook.
Oh, that's fair. And so it's such an integral part of people's ability to communicate with one another. And while this person was a sex offender, should be allowed to communicate with other adults if those other adults are okay with that. And so with that, they're like, just because he might get access to this, there is no difference in him being able to access something on the internet than there is him being able to walk down the street. Like, if he wanted to break that rule, he is going to do so regardless of whether he has access to the internet or not. And right. With as important as the internet is, you cannot take that away from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. That's crazy, though. Like, I'm kind of glad this got all the way to the Supreme Court.
Yep. It does make me wonder what level of interaction this will have with net neutrality, because it might. If you are saying that everyone is you cannot remove people's access to the internet. And with the recent discussion about net neutrality and how certain internet service providers could remove access to specific websites because of their ability to throttle it if they're no longer under the Open Internet Act, or not Open Internet, it has a different name. Either way, not important. The 2015 act that was put forward that makes it where they can't limit or remove people's access to specific areas of the internet. This kind of is attached to that. If you like, if you're not allowed to deny people access to the internet, doesn't that also somewhat translate to denying people access to certain parts of the internet?
Yeah, you would think so. But,
There.
you know, there's probably going to be some fucking weird cosmic loophole.
Well, welcome to the United States legal process. Lots
Yeah.
of loopholes.
Yep. Yep.
Lots and lots of loopholes. Stephen Hawking urges humanity to pursue space colonization to unite Earth and elevate humanity.
This is submitted by Swahili Man. Or Swali Man to our world news.
So, Stephen Hawking wants us to go to space. He wants us to
He wants us to have the Star Trek future.
He does. He wants us to have a base on the moon in the next 30 years and be sending people to Mars by 2025. Specifically because he feels as though that humanity has lost something to unite itself over. That we are competing over things that we have already established. That we are fighting over our own rules from one area to another. That there is no more land to conquer on Earth. And we're running out of space, as he puts it, which I don't necessarily agree with. I feel like the amount of space is just poorly distributed, where there's like too many people in China, but realistically, with the amount of space we have, we don't have enough people in America.
Like, okay, so like we have too many people in China, too many people in places like Tokyo, right?
Right.
So we start making other places around the world, say some places in Africa maybe, better, so we can put people over there. We just got to distribute people better.
Yeah. Either way, he wants us to have the Star Trek future, like you said, of where humanity has united in the interest of being a collective species that then wants to go out and explore and
do positive shit in the universe.
Yeah, and do the human thing and be cockroaches and spread everywhere.
I am all for it. Let's fuck up other ecosystems.
Perfect. It's what we're good at. We're good at ruining things and then trying to fix them, but we're not very good at that either.
God, that sounds like every single one of my past relationships.
Oh, you're really good at ruining things?
And then trying to fix them and then ruining them even more.
Good job, buddy. Hey, Nathan, what'd you care about in the last 24 hours?
All right, so two things, right? I saw this pic on Facebook.
Okay.
And I have to double check.
Way to not be prepared.
Jonah Hill, right?
Yeah, sure.
Apparently, he got fit as shit.
Are you gonna send this to me somewhere?
I mean, I can, but like, he's looking pretty good.
Well, let me throw him up on the thingy-majigger then.
Okay, well then look it up. Look up Jonah Hill 2017. You'll see it.
Jonah Hill 2017. Images.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4 over, the fourth one.
The one where he's in like a wife beater?
Yeah, and he's drinking his slushy.
Okay, I'll throw it up there.
Okay. So that one looks pretty good. Like compared to Jonah Hill's past like images of himself, he's not been always the fittest dude.
Well, I was looking actually at this picture of him, the second one there, of him on the red carpet. He looks pretty damn good right there too.
Yes, he does.
He has lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed. Good job, Jonah Hill.
Yeah, good job, guy. That's quite a thing you've done there.
The other thing is that there was a trailer for Game of Thrones Season 7 today.
Are you okay?
I have the most erect penis I have ever had in my life.
Ever? Are you sure?
All right, so I'm going to put some spoilers up. Spoilers, right, guys? All right. I'm going into it now.
Hang on,
Beric
wait.
fucking Dondarrion.
It's too late. I was going to put text up there, but you already did it.
It's too late. I waved my hands. Beric fucking Dondarrion. Dude lights his sword of flame without using blood magic. He just like hand onto it. Suddenly it ignites like a lightsaber. It's so fucking good.
means nothing to me.
Dude, Beric Dondarrion's like Robin Hood.
That's great.
Except he wouldn't be able to do that in the book.
Okay.
Because he died in the book.
Sure.
Because he found... So he does trial by combats, and if he loses, his friend Thoros of Myr is like, I'm going to pray to the Red God and bring you back. And boom, he comes back, right?
Sure.
Well, in the books, they find Catelyn Stark's body floating down the river after the Red Wedding, and he breathes his life into her, giving his life essence and everything to her. So he permanently dies, and then she comes back, but she's not Catelyn Stark anymore. She's been dead for a while, and her throat's been slit. So she comes back as Lady Stoneheart, and her like whole thing is she goes around and hangs people who she deems are fucking fuck-ups.
Okay.
And yes, Andrew, he has died like 5 times, but that's because he's Beric fucking Dondarrion.
Sure.
He's so goddamn cool.
I'm glad.
Beric is Bay.
Yeah.
Beric Dondarrion.
Sure. I believe you. I started listening to an audiobook yesterday.
That's cool. Which one?
And I forgot how much I love audiobooks. I'm actually listening to a book that I've read in the past. It's the first book in the Legend of Drizzt series from R.A. Salvatore.
Drizzt.
Drizzt.
Drizzit. He's got like 8 Z's in there.
It's actually only 2.
Yeah, right. Like 8.
Although, I mean, the dude narrating the audiobook pronounced it like... It's not even a hard T. It's like a soft T. It's like Drizzt.
Drizzt.
It does... No, you're like... The way too much emphasis on the T. Like, if... I don't even know how the fuck he does it, because...
Is it like jizz?
Except there's still like a finite end to the name, but without the T on the end of the T.
Drizzt?
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay, that's weird. I don't like that.
Yeah, it is weird. And also, like... I assume that they've consulted people on how to pronounce stuff when they go into this, but like the Drow city is called Menzo Beranzan instead of Menzo Berenzan. Or I was like, okay, well, you know what? You guys probably know. I imagine that you guys, researched this. I hope.
Menzo Beranzan.
Menzo Beranzan.
Beranzan Dondarrion.
No, god damn it, Nathan. Holy shit, dude. All right, either way. Yeah, and I also, like, man, you can get through an audiobook fast.
Yeah, you can. Even if you're not paying attention.
Like, I'm at work and I'm just, like, sorting files and woo, just blazing through that. I'll probably be done with the book by tomorrow, and I started it yesterday.
Oh, you reminded me. Thank you.
Of?
I need to update my podcasts, because I have listened to them.
Good. Do it, son.
And I'm giving up on some podcasts, but that's just because I want to catch up on others.
Everybody, if you want to download this podcast, you can find us on iTunes.
Don't give up on us.
On iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play. Yes, please do not give up on us. You can also catch us live at 6 p.m. Alaska time, 7 p.m. West Coast, 10 p.m. East Coast. We go live on Facebook. You can also catch us on Twitter and Instagram at iReaditCast. Otherwise, you can call and leave us a voicemail, 508-738-2278, or you can leave us an email. Let us know what you thought of the show, or send us something you want us to talk about, or just tell us that we are wrong. feedback.ireddit@gmail.com.
Not enough people tell me I'm wrong anymore. It's making me feel weird.
Concerned?
Yeah.
Hey, Nathan, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome, buddy. I love you. Everybody, that is your 309th dose of the internet. Nathan, anything before you go?
No.
All right, cool. I am Michael Schwahn.
Go watch the Game of Thrones trailers, guys. And I'm Nathan Wood.
I have not watched any Game of Thrones at all.
Yeah, you're fucking awful. Keep fucking going.
I'm the worst. All right, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. And please remember, everybody,
don't get eliminated.
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
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 Goodbye.
Boy.
Goodbye. We're stupid as hell.